Hello, everyone. I wanted to check in with you because I know it's just been a real crazy time with all the snow and the snow days and all trying to get into our community sites. So I know a lot of you are eager to get started on your community experience. But just a quick reminder, please do not start until I give you the okay to start because I have to make sure that all of the documents are in order, that your health records are up to date, and so forth. So um, once I give you the okay to start, and that will be through an email, um, then you can go ahead and start. All right. Um, please, when you're in your community experience, keep track of your hours because we need to have a midpoint evaluation. And that will be around 20 hours after you have been at your site for about 20 hours. Please let your clinical instructor know. So that will be either myself or Dr. Worthington Gross Close. Okay. So I have most of you. But if you are Dr. Worthington Gross Close's students, she will have contacted you. All right. So at the 20-hour point, that's when you're going to contact us, and we'll set up either a Zoom meeting or a phone call to go over your evaluation with you, your preceptor, and the instructor all being online or on the phone at once. All right. Another important piece of information that's important is your survey, your windshield survey. It's important to go ahead and complete that as early as possible. As soon as you know which zip code you are going to be working with the community in, go ahead and complete that windshield survey. Now, I know that some of you do not have finalized sites, and so that's fine. You don't have to do your windshield survey until it's finalized and you know what zip code the community that you will serve is so that you can go ahead and do an assessment on that area. All right. Um, let's see. It's so I wanted to go ahead and open up here under week 3 or the module 3 and module 4. There is a video that is very good talking about the windshield survey. All right. So if you sign on um, to Brightspace and you go down to the assignment for the windshield survey, if you scroll down a little bit, you will see this video about what it is to do a windshield survey. And there's a lot of great information in here. I just wanted to make sure that you know that you do not need to get out of the car and interview people. That was mentioned in this video, but that is not part of what your assignment is going to consist of. Also, I thought a good thing that was in this article or this PowerPoint was that she suggested that you take a bus and you can take notes as you're driving around on the bus, or to have someone else drive you so that you're able to take notes regarding the community that you're driving around. Now, if you can't do that, that's fine. You can just go ahead and park at different points and take notes. And what you're going to be taking notes on is this windshield template right here. So the video pretty much goes through this and explains everything, but it's also in your book on page 103, which explains all these different things you need to look at when you're driving around the community. So the community vitality, it tells you all kinds of things to look at, gives you a place to keep notes. You can also take a laptop and be typing on it as, when you pull over for different areas here indicators of social and economic conditions. You're going to go down to health resources, environmental conditions related to health, social functioning, attitude towards health and healthcare, and then your general reflection. All right. So this paper that you've taken your notes on, that needs to be submitted to Brightspace along with your journal reflection. All right. So on week 4, or whenever you're able to get out and have your community site confirmed, whenever you go out to do your windshield survey, please turn this paper in along with the journal, all right, which is about the windshield survey. So let's see. Let's see if there's anything else here that I wanted to look at. Well, the only other thing I wanted to look at is that the final project. All right, the final project down here, module 15. If you open that up, you will see that there is the assignment, which is still not open yet because you can't really submit it. But you'll see instructions for the final assignment. And then I've also made a week-by-week planning for the final assignment. So let's take a look at those papers. So the assignment is going to be where you're going to use the information that you have learned this semester to put it all together and assess a community. Now, I'm hoping, and I'm going to be revising the assignments from here on out so that you can use the area that you're working in for your community experience to do the assignments. And then that's going to make it so much easier because at the end of the semester, when you do your PowerPoint, you will have a lot of that information done already. So you'll just have to make the slides up and then do your voiceover part. So you see here that you're going to be doing, again, a voiceover PowerPoint with title slide, then an introduction, and each of these slides give you a description of what needs to be on the slide. All right, so you don't want any more than 18 slides, but you don't have to have 18 as long as you've covered the information clearly. But you do need to have at least these 9 slides. And if you need more than one slide for these areas, that is just fine. Then you want to do your narration. All right, for every slide, please do not read the PowerPoint. Go ahead and add extra information that would be helpful for the person to know that explains what is on the PowerPoint, not just reading the PowerPoint. The narration should really be 2.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes or less. You want to maintain professional tone and clear delivery in your PowerPoint. All right, so here you see maximum of 18 slides. You want to use relevant visuals. So please include the visuals in your PowerPoint. Don't just have it be text. And you want a professional flow. All right, so then there's the grading rubric of how it will be graded. So let's go back here and look at the week by week, how you can plan. There we go. So that you can plan week by week your final project. All right. So week 1, that is, we've already done module 1. All right. So this you hopefully have already thought about what community you're going to work with, even if it isn't confirmed yet. So think about that. And then you're going to write some notes as you go. So you're going to have your project notes, and then whenever you have something that's pertinent to the project, you can just put it in that folder in the notes. All right, so let's go on to week 2. It's related to module 2, and you're going to select one population or community. So hopefully this will be the one that you're working with. And you're going to go ahead and write a brief description answering who is the population that you're working with? What are they at risk for? And what barriers do you see? Maybe some of the social determinants of health or other chronic conditions that the folks might face that you're working with. All right. This is going to be part of your introduction to your PowerPoint so that the viewer will be able to have a good idea of what community you're working with. Then you're going to do your assessment. Your assessment is the windshield survey. All right. So as you're driving around, you want to look at the housing, look at the transportation. Do most people take the bus? Do they have cars? Um, do they have access to food that's nutritious, or is it mostly fast food? Healthcare services, can they get to a hospital fairly easily? Or do they have clinics or urgent cares that are available? Safety of the environment. Is there a lot of air pollution? Is it mostly concrete? Is there green space? Is there places to exercise? All these things you're going to be looking at as you're driving around. You want to take some photos to represent your community. Now, you want to try not to include pictures where people's faces are showing. So you can take pictures of the environment, the buildings, and so forth to give a good idea of what your community looks like. All right. You want to document those social determinants of health findings, and you're going to then have the photos. Go ahead and you can maybe even put those in some PowerPoint slides so that they're ready to go. You want to identify patterns related to access or inequities or environmental risks. Again, save those to your overview slides. As far as epidemiology, you're going to go ahead and identify key health indicators for your population. You can do this by looking at these different sites, and you've already had a little bit of experience doing that. County Health Department, State Health Department, CDC, Healthy People, anything that you've used in the past that gives you good information about your zip code that you're going to be working in, because you're going to be putting all of this together. All right. So then you have your data comparison table. And then for the week 6, you're going to focus on the social determinants of health. And you're going to begin linking the social determinants of health to the data that you have found regarding the area from those, like the health rank or the ranking site that we used last semester. That would be a great place to look for some of this data. So you're going to go ahead, save the notes that you're working on. Then you're going to compare things to Healthy People 2030. So you want to identify 1 or 2 of those objectives in Healthy People 2030, and you're going to see how is this relevant to the community that you are working in. Then data analysis. So you're going to interpret the data that you've been collecting. All right. So Where do you see problems? Do you see really clear disparities? And why might this be happening? All right. So you're going to interpret this data that you've been collecting. Then you're going to go ahead and decide what is a need. What is one of the biggest needs that you see for this community? And so you're going to go ahead and identify that and think about upstream prevention that can occur that would help this problem. All right. Then you need to back it up by evidence because you can observe things, you can look data up online, but you want to go ahead and locate 2 to 3 peer-reviewed articles related to the health need that you have identified for your community. And so identify educational or preventive strategies that would be helpful to the people that are in your community. Then you're going to develop education. So what's your educational strategy? You want to choose one strategy and then say who does it target, and what will your teaching focus be? And how do you address the need of the community? Now, it would be great if you could talk to your preceptor about this because I'm sure that they have identified various needs and you can sort of talk, bounce ideas back and forth on what might be helpful for the community. Then if you come up with something, you want to make sure it can be sustained. So because if you have the great idea, but there's nothing that will back it up and keep it going, it's not going to be as helpful as it could be. So you want to identify at least one community stakeholder. So that's either the agency or school or nonprofit or healthcare organization, someone that could help continue the education or the implementation of whatever strategy you came up with to keep it going. All right. So who might do this? And then you need to reflect on your community experience. So you're going to review the hours that you've spent there. You're going to reflect using the what, so what, now what, with what you have documented and what your plan is for that community. Identify examples of learning and growth or population health insight that you gained while you were in the community experience. And then week 14, which is when this is due, you're going to make sure to just pull it all together, assemble all the slides, make sure it has a good flow, make sure every slide has narration, and that you have at least 6 current APA references. All right. So if you complete all of this as you go, it's going to go a lot better at the end because you'll have a lot of this already done. So you will not need to stress at the end of the semester, which is what we do not want you all to be stressed. So one last thing, again, I wanted to bring to your attention is that down here in Brightspace, it has your community experience. If you open that up, all of the different paperwork and forms are there. So if this, with the information, you can scroll down, it just tells you all about the community experience and what the requirements are. All right. Then where it says clinical forms, you can go ahead and see a list there. You can click on any of these, and each form has a description next to it as to what needs to happen with it. All right. Then you go down to the rubric for the learning. And if you open that up, that tells you what the instructor, what either myself or Dr. Worthington Grosclose will be looking at as far as your clinical at midterm and at the final. So as an example of the CPE, the clinical progress evaluation or performance evaluation is here. So you can open that up and look at it. And then all these forms that you're supposed to turn in, this is where you're going to go under this community experience to try to find these forms. Have them filled out, and then you're going to submit them to the site here. So wherever you see assignment, that means you're able to submit something um, under that tab or under that page. All right. So I think that is all that I have to tell you for now. So I hope that you all are having um, a good semester so far. Again, I know it's been sort of crazy, but hopefully things will settle down here as we move forward. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to talk to you on the phone, texting, Zoom session, whatever you would like. That would be fine. Okay, so take care, and I will go ahead and see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.